Hey, we made it to the middle of the week. It's Wednesday and video follow through time. I've got a radio here. This is actually just more than a radio. This is something that we bought, like if there's a storm, if something happens, right, you've got a light on there, you can turn that on and it's going to be like a lantern for you. But one of the coolest things this has on it is a weather radio. Now I can listen to AM, FM, or any of those other things, but I really bought this not so I can sit and listen to tunes, but in case there's issues, right? So this gives me like alerts, and I can remember we used to live where there were a lot of tornadoes, and that was really important. You know, you'd see on your weather app that a tornado's on the way, and you're like, uh-oh. And so you would go and tune in to the local like warnings that would be on there, and it would tell you like, you know, that a tornado had been spotted, you know, and where it was headed, if it was heading towards you, and you sometimes would get the very thing that you wouldn't want to hear. And that is that you need to get into shelter. Now what would happen if I were to say, you know what, I'm not going to tune that to the weather one because there's a bunch of other things. Like I'm just going to go, I know that there's bad things that might happen, and what if I just said, you know what, I'm going to tune this, I'm going to set the dial to like just some really cool music, right? Music is great, I love it. But there's information on there that I gotta hear, and I probably should have it on the different setting, right? I should probably tune it into something else. Now, we don't use radios very much anymore, right? We got our phones, and we're listening to Apple Music or whatever else it is. But back where, you know, my day, and I even have the radio here, right? You set it on a certain thing, and if you're on that channel, that's what you're getting. You're getting that information, and it's life-saving information, it's life-giving information. And sometimes in our lives, don't we do that? Like we got to ask ourselves, like, what channel are we set on? Paul says in Romans 8, grab your Bibles, let's look at that. He says, those who live according to the flesh, he says, and look at the phrase he uses. He says, they have set their minds on the things of the flesh. But those who live according to the Spirit set their minds on the things of the Spirit. Using that exact same language, like, right? Like there's all these other settings, right? And the flesh has a lot of them, right? I'd rather be jealous. I'd rather be angry. I'd rather be, resentful or whatever it is. Right? Or just lusting after everything and being greedy and having to have everything that I want, my ambitions, my desires, my plan. But as we've been talking about the last couple weeks, right, God recalculates that plan and says, you know what, your way is going to lead to destruction, right, if it's just about you. Because let's face it, man, the world is not going to revolve around us. The world is not going to say, oh, what, you know what, you're right, Fred. Let's worship you. I mean, that ends horribly. And we know that, right? Because that's what's happened. But God says, look, I've got a life of freedom. Setting your mind on, not on all those things you want, but according to the Spirit. Because the Spirit gives us life. The Spirit gives us hope. Right? And it's like that radio. We're set on the channel that where God has just given us all of this encouragement and saying, look, I want you to know that you can really live. I want you to know that you can have life and have life eternal. And he says, I want your life to be directed by that. I want everything that you do to be inspired by that. With that as just your everything. And so not just for this Wednesday, but for the rest of your week and really the rest of your life, I really want you to have that. And so God says, set your mind on the things of the Spirit. Like say, okay, today, like I want to get in the Word today. I want to pray today. I want to talk to someone about the faith. Right? It might be someone that doesn't know that you're going to reach out to, but it could also be someone that can encourage you. We need both. We really do. So I pray that you can find somebody that you can talk to today, and maybe you got something going on in your life and you need their help, and you need just someone to sort of like just give you that hope that you need. Set your mind on it. Set your mind to it today. I guarantee God will just bring you that peace and joy and love all day long, all week long, all life long. See ya tomorrow morning for another video follow through.